Happy full moon, beloveds. I guess we're actually a day late. I'm a day late on this full moon in Capricorn, the second full moon in Capricorn that we've had. It's called a blue moon. And thinking back to the full moon in Capricorn that we had on the summer solstice, just feeling into what was that like for you, and what were some of the themes, and what have you learned since then? Where have you grown? What insights have been revealed? That can all give you a little bit more information as to how this time can best serve you. So as we begin to open the space, we just call on the highest light of truth, of wisdom, of creativity and knowledge, asking for transmissions that help us to align with some of the messages around this lunar cycle and the best way that we can utilize this energy for our path and align to our highest destiny. Giving thanks that it is, and dropping right into the reading. So with Capricorn's like really grounded, and it's the old system. I find it so interesting that here we are working with these two full moons back to back in Capricorn, which is unusual. And Pluto moved out of Capricorn earlier this year and into Aquarius, and for a little while it's going to move back into Capricorn during the election. And Capricorn is like, it's the structure, it's the father, it's the patriarchy, it's the economy. It is pragmatic, on the ground, and it can be really rigid and it can be stubborn when it's not evolved, or I guess maybe when it's imbalanced, because it's also that pragmatic approach and structure that allows us to build things, allows us to know what the blocks are and the steps necessary, the method to achieve certain goals. But it's so interesting, the timing in the world of what's happening. And, I personally foresee that we are going to see an economic collapse very soon. We're going to start seeing some of these structures falling apart. The banking system, we already saw some of that just within the last week. And, it's very likely that some of those cyber attacks will continue on and start to change the banking structures. And, just I highly advise that you not listen too much to TV and listen more to your intuition, and feel into this moon. What is this moon showing you? Like, are you setting yourself up on a trajectory that is going to take you towards your goals? And there may be some focus around value. So our overall theme for this reading is work with your emotions and become aware of your thought patterns and actions. And this is the deck of the 7 sacred flames. It says, invoke the flame of resurrection to assist in restoring harmony in your life. So I love working with that particular discipline with the I am statements, because anything that follows I am must be. And thinking of Yeshua, of Jesus the Christ, he said, I am the way, the truth, and the light. So what happens if you follow some of these, follow the I am statement with something that really creates a structure inside of you to build towards who you want to be, how you want to create the new patterns, how you want to identify or disidentify from the old patterns and the actions, and working with the resurrection flame, working with essentially the energy that Jesus the Christ worked with, the energy of renewal, of resurrection, of going beyond death. And we have the sun, books, and the spirit of young corn. So this is from the Shaman's Oracle deck. This feels like a very positive forecast for this full moon. How can we be in right action with ourselves? By first identifying where some of the older patterns have come from that are not in alignment, that are not in reciprocity. So the sun, acknowledged by many cultures as the foremost masculine force. In other traditions, it is seen as the feminine in her full power. Either way, it is the most brilliant light for all beings and allows life to sprout from the dark feminine earth. It can be gentle and warming, close to sunrise or sunset, fall or winter, or it can be destructive, as in its zenith during a scorching summer. Have you been hibernating? Have you been introspective? It is time to come out of your cave and savor the life-giving light of our star. The sun rekindles your passion and your creative energy. Life is calling you to shine your light and to add your lightness and humor to the seriousness around you. Get out and play. Have you been shining your light for too long? Remember that daylight is only one half of the day. The night must have her equal time, and she offers us her gifts as well. Be careful not to be blinded by your light or the light of others. Do not become enamored with yourself or worship others. Beware your shadow. Revel in your midday glory, but do not be afraid of the waning light of dusk. And I've been feeling this like equilibrium, this like jumping between timelines and between shadow and light. And as that polarity grows, the shadow becomes more distinct, the light becomes more distinct. So I feel like in this reading, it could go either way. Are you on the end where you're actually needing to come out and claim your light? Or do you need to come out and you need to claim your darkness, or go in and claim your darkness? Which is the opposite of what you've been doing, which feels more in alignment. The action card here is to work with books, and that there may be something in your life that's calling you to journal, or maybe even write, maybe share a blog, maybe communicate with other people based on some of the spiritual principles, some of the things that you've been learning. There's something involved here with books and life purpose. I'm also hearing alchemy, using your words as alchemy. Casting spells, this idea of casting spells. When we sing, we are creating something. We are creating a vibration out in the universe, and this vibration is something that attracts things. So we have to be very conscious of what we're saying, what we're singing, what we're listening to, what we're consuming. So all of that to say, using your words wisely, using them affirmingly for yourself and for others. Be conscious of what you are consuming right now, what you read, what you listen to. And if you're starting to really dream big and you have this idea about where you want to go ahead and identify, who would you be if you had these things, and how would that person act? How would that person talk? How would that person walk? And then you start to play that role, and then you become it. It really can be that easy if we're willing to drop all of the shenanigans and believe. And just like throw all of these other doubts and concerns aside, which often just requires us to work on the patterns of limitation of who we thought we have been. And where this seems to be taking us, it looks like a really promising place. This is from the Jade Oracle deck. So this is the spirit of young corn, and it emphasizes youth and innocence, sustenance, and singing and dancing. This signifies a youthful stage of a project. And this card comes and reminds you that if you want to have strong stalks and healthy crops, you need to continue nurturing the young plants. Consider making an offering to honor all that nurtures the young corn in yourself. So if you have some kind of project that you're working with, this could be a good time to maybe renew your vows, to check in and see, are you giving them as much of attention as you did when you first created the project? Have you started the project? Is it time to start it? What do you need to do on a daily basis? We often get tripped up with our self-healing and the practices of becoming something, of building businesses. You have to do it literally every single day to get somewhere. After the rain, the silver lining, hope, mercy, it's over, acceptance. All right, so there's been some kind of, they're saying cosmic clearing that has been happening in the collective. And you may have felt the pain of that, and you may have felt that it's been a difficult season in your life. I have absolutely felt that for the summer, if not for almost a year now, but intensified this summer. And I do have this sense that there's going to be like I can let my hair down and chill out, and it doesn't feel like it's just for me personally. This does feel collective. To really enjoy these next few weeks. Yeah, I get a sense that there's an opportunity to play, to be in contact with that which we know is innocent. Those parts of our inner children that want to have a space to be in this world, and the adult in us needs that. It craves that, it demands that, but it really has forgotten. So this after the rain card, this is from the Rose Oracle deck. We've had a lot of rain here in Birmingham. And it was really nice. We had a cacao ceremony on Saturday with the moon, and it rained right afterwards, and you could just feel that energy of it washing everything away. There's something very special and sacred about the moment after it stops raining. The atmosphere has released all that it was holding, and in turn, the earth has been cleansed, replenished, and nourished. It's a similar feeling to the moment after we stop crying. As those salty, healing waters fall, they activate oxytocin and endorphins, which create a shift in how we feel. What was once overwhelming now seems impossible, and while we may not know it consciously, noticeable growth will soon follow. After the rain is all about hope, healing, beginnings, and endings. Emotions are soothed, broken hearts are on the mend, times of trial are over, mercy can be felt. There's a moment of relief. A new, encouraging silver lining can now be made out in the distance. What's been challenging and difficult has or is about to ease up. If you've been going through a challenging time, this card is here to reassure you that things are about to ease. You've been through the worst of it, and now hope is here. These past weeks, months, or even years haven't been straightforward. They've likely asked you to dig deep and endure hardships that have tested you. But now, at long last, there are smooth seas ahead. What you've learned and how you've grown can never be taken away from you. And now it's time to enjoy the warmth of the blessing that life has in store. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. This follows with a vision quest and birthing a new age. You know, if you're not really clear on what the next steps are, that is for you. You need to take an intentional space, an intentional time, go out in nature and rediscover who you are. If you want to know what you're here to do, you first have to know who you are. And in order to know who you are, you must become quiet and still. You must immerse yourself in nature and get away from your everyday routines, your everyday spaces. You need to have enough space and get away from the distractions of life, the temptations that keep you from being with yourself, to really discover the beauty of you. So there's a call for the vision quest, and this feels also like an invitation, you know, to start dreaming in the new dream, to start to turn our attention not towards what we don't want, but what we do want. And in the shamanic realm, this is what they call bringing in like the new earth or the new age. This energy of creation, birthing new creations, dreaming the world into being. It's so vital that we are not getting caught up in all of the propaganda and the rhetoric and the gossip and the confusion and the imagery. It's so important that we don't get pulled into that, because that then becomes what we see. It becomes what we encounter. It becomes what we feel. So find the vision of your heart. Your heart has a vision for you. What is your place? How is it that you are serving in this new earth timeline? What are you bringing forward? We have this Earth Warrior card here that says Sage of Higher Knowledge. Seek what feels true, even beyond the logical. If something doesn't feel right, challenge it and dig deeper. Educate and inform yourself on matters of importance to you. Trust that your mind is strong and bright enough to do this. Enhance your self-esteem by searching for information and trusting your intuition to help you discern what is useful and true. Have faith in your mental abilities. If others have criticized you or made you feel inadequate in understanding, cast that off as belonging to the past and not relevant to you now. You will become immune to manipulation by others who may be convincing, but not necessarily accurate or helpful. Trust the power of your mind to receive and recognize the answers you need. You will find your way. Test all opinions, advice, research, and alleged facts according to your intuition and instinct. Discern that which is helpful and that which is better cast aside, even if just for a time. Seek information and assistance from those who you feel can assist you, and yet place no human advisor above the ultimate divine authority which guides you on how to proceed through a deep inner knowing. There is always new knowledge beyond existing boundaries of thought. We simply need to be open and willing to receive it with patience, discernment, and trust in the greater guiding power. So there are some answers coming. There's important information coming. Right now, this lunar cycle is to clear a way to make us aware of the patterns, the emotional patterns, the thought patterns, and the actions, the behaviors, the habits that are tied to those. What got illuminated during this full moon? And why? Why is it that you are seeing it now? Is it taking you towards who you are destined to be? Or is it taking you off the path? This feels like such welcoming, wonderful energy, this bridge between heaven and earth, bringing in the new earth. See, or water your seeds for your new projects. Ask yourself, is it time to go in and do the shadow work and accept the shadow and be with that? Or is it time to go out now and to claim your light and to alchemize the shadow, integrate the shadow? You know, it feels like there's much relief. It's time to enjoy and play, but also stay responsible to our creations and to being responsible to this earth and to our community by contributing our creations within doing a vision quest, or taking time to really ask yourself, what role do I play in this new earth? What do I want it to look like? And actively discharge from any of the stuff out there in the world. Don't be blinded by that. Don't get distracted by that. Don't get pulled into that. We don't want to create that. So you need to look towards what you want, what you do want to create. And I hear a lot of people like, oh, well, I watch the news. It's important for you to know what's going on. Well, I mean, technically, yeah, it's great to know what's going on, but you really have to ask yourself, how is it making you feel? How much of it are you consuming? Is it necessary that you are getting a dose of that as regularly as you are? Because I'll be honest, there are a lot of people who've never watched the news and they're totally fine. And they know what to do because they're not dependent on these sources for the knowledge that lives inside of them. So you can ask yourself, where are you sourcing your information that is leading you towards where you want to go? And just aware that there is such an awakening happening within each of us right now that is we can trust that there will be answers and messages delivered if we are listening. If you're not listening, if you do not have the right eyes to see or ears to hear because you're not tuning them to that, you're not in prayer, you're not in meditation to become conscious in the moment, you're not present, you'll miss out on that. And then you may think that you've been abandoned. You may think that you've been forgotten. You may get angry and say, I'm not getting anything, when in fact, it's just that you haven't been, your scope of awareness has been very limited. So, feels like such a beautiful lunar gift. Feels really, especially this card. I really feel this card here. Let's create something magical and beautiful. As always, so grateful to have this community here and receiving these messages and creating this transmission. So grateful to all of the guides, the guardians, the angels, saints, master beings that help to bring this information, these revelations through. And I appreciate if I get a like on these videos, help the algorithm so that more people have access to this. And love to hear your comments too of what's moving and transpiring in your own world. Hit that subscribe button if you want to continue to hear the notifications when I'm online. And until we meet again, stay pure.